Okay guys, in this video I'm going to run through how to set up your nutrition for fat loss. I'm trying to make this video quick, under 10 minutes, to teach you guys exactly how to set up your nutrition for your own results, your own kind of fat loss. So let's get into it. Firstly, let me start this off with saying this. The most successful plan you could ever make is what is best for your results divided by what you enjoy to create sustainability. It's important to say this because diets, they don't have to be, and fat loss plans, they do not have to be the most boring things on earth with no balance, with no flexibility, things that you hate, resent, and stuff that makes you want to get off the diet as soon as possible. The best diet is what works for you, what's best for you, what's sustainable for you, so you can stick to it long enough to see the results that you want. Now let's get things started. Calories, what do we do with them? The first thing you have to do is you have to find your maintenance calories. Now you can either use there's calorie calculators out there online you can use, but for the sake of leaving everything in one video, what you can do is you can multiply your body weight in pounds by 15. So I'm 91 kilos, that's 200 pounds. You can just simply Google that. 200 pounds times 15 equals 3,000, which means I can eat 3,000 calories and that'll be my maintenance calories. Or it'll be a rough estimate of it. Now, if you really, really wanted to dial in and really find your maintenance calories, what I would do is I'd take that number, I'd eat at that level for about a week. I'd observe how my body responded, how the weight went up or down, or if it stayed the same, and I'd adjust accordingly. If it went up, I'd lower my calories slightly to try and find the maintenance. If it stayed where it was, I know that's my maintenance calories. If it went down, I need to up the calories a bit to find my maintenance. And I'd continue doing that until I found it. But for the sake of this exercise, we don't have to be that specific, not at all. But it does lay the groundwork for everything we do with the nutrition and results. So it's important to get the first indication of what your maintenance calories roughly is. Right? What we want to do then is we want to set a calorie goal. Based on what we want to achieve in terms of fat loss per week. So there are 7,700 calories in 1 kilo of fat. So in order to lose a kilo of fat, you need to be in a 7,700 calorie deficit across the week, which is 1,100 calories every day, which I've explained there. So personally, if that's your goal, you'd have to be in a pretty deep deficit at the start. For people that weigh a bit more and are on their fat loss journey just starting, it'll be easy to get in that much of a deficit. For people that are a bit lighter, not that achievable unless you plan on eating like an absolute fish and not eating that much. So it's completely person dependent on what the calorie goal should be. Now I would start with anywhere from a 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit. And for me, I would put my calories at 2,400. I'd go for a 600 calorie deficit myself. And just as a note down there, you can increase your activity, steps, cardio, whatever you use, the mechanism you're using for fat loss, that can be used to create a larger deficit for you, right? So if I just, for example, if I'm at 2,400 calories, I'm at a 600 calorie deficit, but on top of that, I also slap an extra 6,000, 7,000 steps, that's another 200 to 300 calories worth of activity I've just increased to create my deficit larger. So that's just something you can leverage. Now, one of the most important ones, protein. What do we eat? How much do we eat? Look, it's essential to build muscle, retain muscle, and get the results we want. We all know this. How much should we have? I recommend 1.8 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilo of body weight for men. For women, I would recommend 1.5 to 1.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. The lower end of the scale is for people who don't have as much muscle mass. Higher end for those who train a lot more and do have more muscle mass. So an example, I weigh 91 kilos right now, so I would times 91 times 2.2, I'd take the higher end of the protein, and that would equal 200 grams of protein, so that's how much protein I should be hitting to get the results that I want. Just some easy ways to increase your protein intake: fishes, chickens, beef, protein powders, eggs, egg whites, jerky, YoPro, etc. There's so many sources, I just wanted to lay out a few of you for you. The fats. Now, the fats are ones that people are scared of. Do not be scared. Fat is essential for general health and bodily functions. Your body requires fats in order to exist. So while it's true fats do have the most calories per gram, they have 9 calories per gram, protein has 4, and so do carbohydrates. So it has more than double of the others. It is required for us to live and get the results that we want. That's simple as it could be put. So how much should we have? 0.5 to 1 gram per kilo of body weight. Okay. Now that's based on completely on how you feel, your general health. I would personally take the middle. I'd pick the middle, 0.75. So I would do 91 kilos times 0.75, 68 grams of fats. Just some easy ways to get your fats up. Nut butters, fatty fishes. Oils, extra virgin olive oil in particular, is quite good. Fattier cuts of meat, that would be your 90-10 beef mince, maybe your 85-15. Sirloin steaks. Avocado is a great way, nuts, etc. But fats are essential. Do not be scared of them. They're great. And when integrated into a balanced plan, driven towards results, they're very beneficial. Carbohydrates is another one, right? So carbohydrates, they're the only macronutrient technically we could live without. We could live without them, but they play a huge role in aiding in performance, our health, and ultimately our results, right? Carbohydrates, trying to train in the gym without carbohydrates in the system, good luck to you. I do not recommend ever cutting them out completely. No keto diets here. That is completely unsustainable. It is not something you could do long term. So carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram, as I mentioned. How much should we have? Well, we've got how much protein we need, 200. I've got how much fats I need, 68. Now, I would just fill the rest of the calories I have remaining with carbohydrates. So this is how I do it. I know that I'm 91 kilos and my calorie target for the deficit is 2400. I know that protein is 4 calories per gram, which is my protein goal I got from before. I'll do 200 times 4, that's 800 calories. I know fats are 9 calories per gram. My fats I got from before was 68 grams, so 68 times 9 is 612, which, if you do the maths down here, 2400 minus 800 minus 612, that leaves me with 988 calories, which I would just give straight to carbohydrates. And the way to figure that out is I'd get 988 calories, I'd divide that by 4 because carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram, and that would equal 247 grams, right? So when you tie it all together, the final setup, my calorie deficit would look like this. 2400 calories, which is a 600 calorie deficit, which at that rate I should lose just over half a kilo per week. My protein would be 200, my fats would be 68, and my carbs would be 247. And that would be me. That would be my calorie deficit to start. Some other important things to know. Water, you need to keep that up. I would be drinking 5 litres, and I do drink 5 litres right now. I recommend having 60 mils per kilo of your body weight. So for me, that's 5.3 litres, 5 litres. In terms of activity, which is essential for fat loss to increase your activity, I think starting at 10k steps, one of the easiest things you could do, because it integrates well with your current lifestyle. So I would increase that when needed to keep progress moving. When it comes to calorie deficits and fat loss, there are 2 ways you can increase your progress. You can either lower the calories or you can increase the activity, or you can do both. Completely depends on the kind of person you are. I have clients that prefer to do more steps but eat a bit more food. I have clients that prefer not to do steps or can't do that many steps, and they prefer to eat less food. So it's always a balance, right?